broken during the 60s. How did that happen?
Bed being broken during the 60s?
Where did you hear that?
On one of the podcasts.
One of the podcasts. Oh, yeah. Well, it is true, and it was kind of funny. We shot those 2 sex scenes the very first day, which in some ways is good and in some ways is not so good. But basically, it gets it out of the way, and sometimes when actors work together over the course of a month or more, they may be at each other's throat, and if you do the sex scene at the end, then it's not going to be very intimate or very exciting. So this just happened to be a scheduling issue, and we just ended up doing it on the first day. It was also, the first day is a rough day, and people are just kind of getting things together, and the art department wasn't totally prepared, and the bed needed to be raised or lowered a certain height to fit the composition that we were trying to create, and so we were propping it up on little blocks and stuff like that. And the very first take, I kind of let them do what they want to do on the first take without a lot of direction, and then I want to see what their thoughts are and what they bring to it in terms of the performance and the actors. And that was the same with this particular scene. I didn't really want to coach them in any way about how they're going to be having sex. I just wanted to see what they were going to do. And then I would modify it from there. So they came out like bucking bronchos out of the gate, and the bed collapsed. And we all had a good laugh about it, but that did happen, yeah. We toned it down a little bit from there.
Okay. Anybody else? Any more questions? It's got to be somebody. Okay. In the middle.
Just a question. Going straight to DVD, for example, is it anything to do with you? I mean, it's your choice. Do you want to be released first in cinemas or whatever?
Okay. The question is it my choice whether the film is released in cinemas or goes straight to DVD and the implications of that? It's not. It would be my choice if we were putting up the money to self-release it in theaters. There are companies that do that you pay them, give them $1 million, and they'll release it in 2 or 3 cities and see how it does, and if it does well, you can roll that money into moving the film into other cities. And some films are released that way. In some cases, there's a little bit of vanity involved, and the producers or the director or the combination of the above just absolutely have to have the film in theaters or they won't feel satisfied or they won't feel it was successful. Sometimes when that happens, when it's not about an audience out there for the movie, it can actually lose a lot of money because it's expensive to market a movie. And a lot of the studio films that you hear about costing 50, 60 million, they spend another 50 or 60 million in marketing. So even with an independent movie, it takes about $1 million or $1.5 million to even start a release, $2 million really, to start a release on 10, 20, 30 screens. It can be 4, 5, 6 million. So if for whatever reason that doesn't take, you can lose an additional $3, 4, 5, $6 million on top of your budget. In this case, our budget's a little under $5 million, and you can just lose another 100% that you've already spent. If you go directly to DVD, or if you go directly to television, there's big upfront payments oftentimes called the minimum guarantee from the buyers who can then say it's a Sky premiere movie, or an HBO premiere movie, or an NBC, Fox, CW, whatever it is, premiere movie, and they pay more for that than if it's been in the theaters. So it actually can hurt you if you go into the theaters and premiere the movie that way. It doesn't do well. Then sometimes the TV stations and the networks and even DVD buyers don't necessarily want something that failed. We think this would be successful. There's someone interested right now theatrically that really likes the movie. We're going to see how that pans out. It'd be great to release it that way, but it's more risky. So we got to just weigh the cost benefit of releasing it in theaters and the expense it takes to market it and make the prints to go into theaters. Yeah.
Anyone? Come on, B.
Okay.
You must have one.
I do. Best and worst aspects of the shoot.
Best and worst aspects of the shoot. Well, I think the best aspect was just the chemistry that everybody had. I mean, it really felt like a family making the movie. I'm sure people have said that before, and if it sounds cliched, it does. But everybody got along great. Everybody felt like it was a team making an independent movie, and everybody just stuck with the smaller trailers and longer hours and tighter schedule and tougher days, and everybody was passionate about this project. And so that's That's really a plus. There's a lot of times when you feel that people are just kind of walking through it for the paycheck, or their heart's not really in it, or their mind is somewhere else on the day and they're not prepared. And you know, sometimes even the director or the producers are just like, you know, sleepwalking through it because they don't care. And everybody really cared about this movie, and I think it ended up showing on the screen. So that was the best aspect. The worst aspect was, you know, a lot of it was a great experience. It was a tight schedule. Shooting in 24 days is a tight schedule. You know, most films I've done have been 30 or 36 or 42 days. So this was, in some cases, almost half the amount of time to shoot it, which means you just got to work faster, prepare more, means less sleep, you know. So instead of my normal 4 hours of sleep, I'm getting 2 hours of sleep. 4 hours would have been great. So that made it tough, but it's something that I, you know, was prepared for and expecting. So there wasn't too much that was bad about it, you know. It was a little bit longer process than normal, partly because of the sales situation out there right now, and how many movies are out there and how much product there is, and how that affects buyers. But other than that, in the course of making the movie, it was really a pleasure.